Hugo Capella was a name whispered in awe across the land, a young prodigy whose mere presence commanded attention. At 18 years old, he had already earned the reputation of a master puppeteer, a rare and revered class of seekers, renowned as the strongest of all. With the power to summon and control intricate puppets, Hugo could counter any strategy with ease, outsmarting foes and allies alike. His body, lean and graceful, was always draped in a sophisticated suit that highlighted his refinement. His bright green hair, always kept neatly trimmed, added to his timeless style, while the glasses perched on his nose only emphasized his sharp intelligence and cultured demeanor. Though talented and undeniably handsome, Hugo was an enigma, preferring solitude over the company of others. He was the definition of an individualist, his mercenary work a testament to his unwillingness to be tied to any party or organization. While most seekers worked within clans, Hugo stood apart, carving his own path in a world where such independence was rare. It was in one particular battle that his reputation would truly be solidified. Hired by a powerful clan with over 20 members, Hugo had played a pivotal role in their victory against a dangerous beast, a creature with an abyssal depth of 10. But despite the triumph, the clan master was furious with Hugo. "Just what are you trying to do?" he bellowed, eyes blazing. "Why didn't you follow my orders?" Hugo, ever calm, cocked his head to the side, his expression blank. He had defied the clanmaster's direct order during the battle, and though they had emerged victorious, one of the clan's seekers had been gravely injured. The clanmaster, fuming with rage, demanded an explanation. "If you had followed my orders, we all would have died," Hugo replied coolly. "I know you are the master on the battlefield, but my contract gives me the right to protect my life. I choose to prioritize that." His voice was steady, unwavering. The clan master, red-faced and livid, sputtered in disbelief. "So you're saying my orders were wrong?" he snapped. "Yes," Hugo said without hesitation. "Was it not clear?" The clan master's fury was palpable, but Hugo remained unaffected. "You owe me nothing," he continued, his voice dripping with disdain. "You and your clan were utterly inadequate for the task. You only survived because of my intervention. Without me, you'd all be dead." The clanmaster, shaking with rage, could hardly believe what he was hearing. "You think you can take us all on, a mercenary with no friends, no allies?" he sneered. Hugo straightened, pushing his glasses up his nose. "Yes," he said with calm certainty. "I deplore violence, but when it comes to survival, I have no hesitation." For a moment, there was a tense silence. The clanmaster laughed cruelly, mocking Hugo's bold words. Hugo, despite being an A-ranked seeker like the clanmaster, stood alone. The clan, with its mostly B-ranked members, was no weak force. But Hugo's puppets, each a force to be reckoned with, were his equalizer. He could summon countless dolls to fight on his behalf, each one as strong as a B-ranked seeker. Though outnumbered in body, Hugo was far from outmatched. He was a force unto himself. The clan master, initially confident in his own strength, soon found himself caught in an impossible situation. He had underestimated Hugo Capella, the lone mercenary with the power of a puppeteer. Hugo's dolls, once dismissed as mere toys, were now his army. Over 200 armored automatons, each the equivalent of a B-rank seeker, surrounded the clan. The very air seemed to hum with the power of Hugo's creations. Spears were poised at the clan master's neck, and the puppeteer's cold, calculating voice filled the tense silence. "I recommend surrendering," Hugo said calmly. "Each of my dolls is sensitive to your intentions. One wrong move, and I can't guarantee your life." The clan master, stunned and rattled, could only stammer in disbelief. "I thought you could only generate 20 dolls at once." Hugo's smile was thin and humorless. "I never said that. I generally conserve my magic power. When fighting a beast in the abyss, I don't spread myself too thin. Against a creature with an abyssal depth of 10, I had no reason to use all my power. This, however, is just 20% of it." His voice was smooth and composed, as if discussing the weather. "If typical battles are a walk in the park, this is but a light jog." The clan master, once proud and hailed as a prodigy, now faced total defeat. The color drained from his face as he realized the extent of his miscalculation. Hugo, with an almost casual arrogance, continued, "You lack the skills to be a seeker." With a snap of his fingers, Hugo's puppets vanished in an instant. The clan members, their will to fight shattered, fell to their knees in gratitude for their lives. Hugo, unbothered by their defeat, turned away and left without a second glance, his reputation now etched in the annals of history. The mercenary had become a legend. 2 years passed. Hugo, once at the height of his power, retired from the world of seekers and embarked on a new career as a dollmaker, the most successful in his field. But fate, as it often does, had other plans. He was framed for a bizarre murder, thrown into a dark prison, and forgotten by all except for a small group of adventurers who had heard his name. In a carriage heading toward a mission to defeat the Garmer, the adventurers spoke of Hugo's past. Koga, the more cautious of the group, commented on Hugo's difficult personality, while Leon expressed a desire to help him should he truly be innocent. Alma, ever the joker, teased Koga about his discomfort with Hugo's aloofness. But for Noel, the leader of the group, the decision was clear. Hugo Capella had long been a potential ally, and now that he had the power to act, Noel was determined to free him from his unjust imprisonment. They discussed the power of the puppeteer class and how Hugo's ability to create 200 B-rank dolls was a testament to the strength of his abilities. However, Noel reminded them all of a crucial lesson. No matter how strong you are, a lone wolf will always get picked off. Hugo's refusal to trust others had ultimately led to his downfall. Despite his immense power, he had lived too independently, isolating himself from the world. As Noel explained, society was built on relationships, and the lone wolf would always be vulnerable to those who operated in groups. It was clear to Noel that Hugo's pride and isolation had cost him dearly, and now it was up to them to help him regain his freedom. "You mean by someone like you?" Koga teased, acknowledging the irony of the situation. But Noel's resolve was firm. It was time to save Hugo, and in doing so, offer him a chance to learn the value of trust and cooperation. The battle with the Garmer was proving more difficult than expected. Despite the team's best efforts, the Garmer's supernatural intelligence and agility were causing complications. Alma's rapid movements and powerful skills were impressive, but the Garmer, with its uncanny ability to anticipate and dodge, rendered her attacks ineffective. Even her assassin skill, Perfect Throw, had no effect as the beast deftly avoided each steel rod. Koga and Leon were holding their own against the skeletal army, but with the Garmer continuing to summon reinforcements, the numbers kept increasing. I had hoped the Garmer's summons could be overwhelmed, but the beast's relentless summoning ability meant that our offense was constantly at risk of being outpaced. "Damn it! Missed!" Alma cursed, frustration evident in her voice as she tried yet again to land a blow on the Garmer. But every time, the beast effortlessly dodged her attacks as though it could predict every move she made. The beast was toying with her, perhaps deliberately playing the waiting game to exhaust her. I grit my teeth, realizing the Garmer's strategy. It wasn't just about overwhelming us with numbers or brute force. It was playing the long game, drawing out the battle to tire us out while it remained relatively unharmed, dodging and waiting for a fatal mistake. The Garmer knew it had the advantage in stamina, and if it could wear us down enough, it could finish us off. "We have to finish this quickly," I muttered under my breath, but even as I spoke, the battlefield seemed to shift. The Garmer's dark presence cast a chilling shadow over the valley as it howled again, summoning yet another massive wave of skeleton knights. I could see the strain on Alma, Koga, and Leon, each one pushing their limits. I could feel the weight of the battle pressing down on us. I had to act, and fast. "Koga, Leon, keep the army busy. Alma, getting close. This time don't let it dodge." The strategy was clear now. We couldn't keep playing its game of evasion. Alma had to hit the Garmer, and to do that, she needed to get inside its defenses without letting it predict her movements. The key was to disrupt its rhythm. "Axel, do it a couple." Alma accelerated, this time making a deliberate feint, causing the Garmer to miscalculate her next move. But it was still too fast for her to land a hit directly. She was getting closer, though. She could feel the heat of its breath, the pressure of its immense power. Meanwhile, Koga's crazy cherry blossoms continued to ravage the skeleton knights, clearing a path while Leon's support kept the larger enemies in check. With the combined strength of the group, we might still have a chance. But the Garmer wasn't a foe that could be underestimated. It was not just a beast, it was a predator, one that understood the nature of combat and prey. If we were going to take it down, we needed to outthink it, outlast it, and strike at the right moment. The question was, how long could we hold out before it exhausted us completely? I steeled myself for the next phase of the battle. The Garmer may have been smarter and faster, but it was not invincible. I wouldn't let it claim victory. We'll push through, together. This ends now. A slow-acting poison, you wouldn't have felt it at first, but now the effects are taking hold. Your immense magic power and strength didn't help you dodge it, because the real danger was in the air, all around us. The Garmer struggled to stand but collapsed again, its massive body heaving as it gasped for air, now fully realizing that it had been outwitted. It growled in frustration, but the poison was already doing its work. The once proud and fearsome creature, now struggling with its weakening limbs, could only watch as the poison consumed it. "You fool," it muttered weakly, its voice barely audible. You deceived me." "Not really. I just turned your own arrogance against you," I said, my tone steady but cold. "You thought you could play with me, but you underestimated my team and the preparation we made. You were too focused on your victory and too proud to notice the danger closing in on you." I turned to Alma, Koga, and Leon. Koga was still kneeling, blood trickling from his wounds, but he gave me a weak nod. Alma, now more composed, was helping Leon up, though he was still weak from the effort of using Seraphim's blade. The battle was far from over, but the Garmer's collapse had shifted the balance in our favor. Its overwhelming presence was no longer a threat, and I could feel the tension in the air begin to lessen. "Let's finish this," I said, my eyes still on the Garmer, which was now barely able to move, let alone summon any more skeleton knights. Alma stepped forward, brandishing her weapon, ready to deal the final blow. Koga was gritting his teeth, his injuries severe, but his will to fight still strong. Leon, although exhausted, was steadying himself for the final moments of the battle. The Garmer let out one last defiant growl before its body went limp, and its magical barrier shattered, collapsing under the weight of the poison and the fatigue of its immense power. With that, the battle was truly over. "We did it," I whispered, though I knew the battle had taken everything from us. The cost had been high, but we had survived. We had won. But as the dust settled and I looked around at my battered team, I couldn't help but feel the weight of what had happened. We had defeated one of the strongest beasts, but the cost had been staggering. We had pushed ourselves to the limit, and I knew that the road ahead would only grow harder. Beasts, the ones that terrorize the common folk, are the perfect target for such a narrative. Hugo's story of vengeance will resonate with the people, and if we play it right, we can turn him into a symbol of hope and strength. We'll make him the face of a campaign, showcasing his strength and dedication to slaying monsters, especially the ones that are truly dangerous to the masses. We'll rally the support of sponsors, the common people, and the aristocracy who want to be associated with a hero like him. Leon's eyes narrowed and he crossed his arms again, clearly processing my words. "I see. So you're going to use Hugo's vendetta as a way to gather wealth and support. But are you sure this won't backfire? If we don't deliver on his expectations, it could ruin the plan and turn him into a liability." "That's where our expertise comes in," I said, tapping my fingers against the stone. "We'll be managing the entire narrative. We control how his image is portrayed, we train him, build up his reputation, and carefully select the battles he fights in. If we play it smart, Hugo will become an icon in the public eye. We just need to focus on one goal: accumulating enough wealth and influence to secure our place in the regalia." Leon rubbed his chin thoughtfully. "It's risky, but I can see how it could work." "That's the plan," I confirmed. "We turn Hugo into the most famous seeker in the kingdom, and the wealth, influence, and opportunities will follow. With that, we'll have the means to compete with the regalia and eventually replace one of them. The airship is just the first step, but it'll give us the power and visibility we need." Leon nodded, a look of determination settling on his face. "All right, I get it now. This is going to take a lot of work, but I'm in. Let's make it happen." "Good," I said, smiling, "because we've only just begun. Wild Tempest will rise, and we'll be the ones pulling the strings." With that, I turned back to the camp, where Alma and Koga were still watching the dismantling of the Garmer. We had a long road ahead of us, but with this plan in motion, I was confident that we could achieve our goal of becoming part of the regalia. It would take time, effort, and careful manipulation of every resource we had, but in the end, Wild Tempest would be unstoppable. I would have won without breaking a sweat, Zeke continued, wiping his forehead with the towel and flashing me a confident grin. His words reflected a common sentiment in the world of seekers. Effort and sweat weren't to be valued on their own, but only the results they brought. I couldn't help but chuckle. You know, for someone so powerful, you sure have a casual attitude about your own strength. But I get what you mean. It's not about how hard you work, but how well you perform when it matters. Zeke's grin widened at my response. Exactly. But enough about me. What brings you all the way out here? I didn't think you were the type to come this far for a chat. I raised an eyebrow, studying his relaxed posture despite his immense strength. I wanted to speak to you about something important, I said, then paused to gather my thoughts. I'm organizing a symposium to discuss the Valiant that's expected to appear in a year. I thought you, of all people, would have a lot to say on the matter. Zeke's expression shifted slightly, intrigued but nonchalant. A Valiant? Interesting. And you want me to participate in your little event? I nodded, trying to sell the idea. Exactly. The public will want to know how the most powerful seekers plan to deal with such a threat. Your participation would guarantee a high-profile event with plenty of eyes on you and your clan. I can even have Modern Opinion handle the coverage if you want. You'll get the kind of publicity money can't buy. Zeke took another swig of water, considering my proposal. You're thinking big, huh? Using a potential disaster to fuel your rise. Clear that you're not the type to sneak attack someone just to steal their ideas. Besides, you already know that if I'm making a proposal this big, it's not something I can back out of easily. If I die here, everyone will know it was because of a fight between two high-ranking seekers, and I'm sure you're not interested in making that kind of mess. Zeke smirked, clearly impressed by my response. Heh, you're sharp, Noel. Maybe you do have what it takes to pull this off. Fine, I'll play along, for now. If this tournament goes as you say, I'll get my chance to fight Leo, and that's all I care about. But don't think for a second that I'll owe you anything. I'm not that easily bought. I nodded, acknowledging his terms. I'm not asking for anything more than your support right now. You'll get what you want. I'll make sure of it. Good, Zeke said, then leaned back, clearly relaxed now that we had reached an understanding. With Zeke on board, the tournament would draw major attention. Not only would it solidify my reputation, but it would also create the perfect opportunity to secure further sponsors and alliances. As I turned to leave, Zeke called after me. You've got guts, Noel. I'll give you that. Let's see if you can pull this off and prove you're more than just ambition.
As the final battle rages on, with enemies closing in from every direction and new alliances forming under the shadow of betrayal, Noel stands tall amidst the chaos. The Lord of Flies, Malabulge and Impero may think they've set the stage for their own twisted games, but Noel knows the rules of the game better than anyone. Every move they make, every strategy they try to manipulate, only brings him closer to his goal. With a calm smile, Noel faces the storm. A fierce fire burning in his eyes. He's not just playing for power, nor is he seeking revenge. He's seeking control. Control of the game, control of the chaos, and control over his own fate. The battle ahead is far from over, but one thing is certain. Noel is no longer just a pawn in this twisted world of power struggles and intrigue. He's the player, and the board is his to command. But the story doesn't end here. There are still countless mysteries to uncover. New enemies to face, and old allies to reconsider. The war for dominance has only just begun. Will Noel emerge victorious, or will the shadows consume him? There's only one way to find out. If you're enjoying the chaos, the strategies, and the unpredictable twists, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. I'll be back with the next recap to dive even deeper into this epic story, and trust me, you won't want to miss it. Until next time, stay tuned. The game is far from over.